everyone, and welcome to this edition of Pearls of Fisdom right here on Nirmal. I'm Bandari. Today in the spotlight, we have the company Thermax. Its transition from being largely dependent on captive power orders to multiple new areas and continues its initiative when it comes to gasification and biomass solutions. They've also benefited from an uptick in order inflows and has strong business potential, which should match their earnings potential. Joining in on the show right now, we have Ashish Bhandari. He is the Managing Director and CEO at Thermax. Thank you so much for taking time out. And it's really been noteworthy events that have marked the last year. And there has been a lot of focus with respect to the election as well from on the new government on global energy transition. And I just want to understand from you, Ashish, as a key player, how you're looking to really benefit and what you've made of the government's moves.
Good afternoon, and it's a pleasure to be here at your show as well. Energy transition for a country like India is very much at the heart of our future, and it's part of our growth journey. It is part of our energy independence, and it is also part of the sustainability and our commitments towards the planet. So, in my view, it is not just about sustainability, it is part for India's industry to become competitive and to be relevant to the future. This is a moment where India can leapfrog an old energy world into what can be a new energy world. And let me share examples of why this bridge between energy availability and sustainability is important and what kinds of solutions are possible. Take waste to energy as an example. For India, across the board, waste is a problem. Yeah, whether it is municipal solid waste, biomass waste, the one that we burn and causes pollution in good chunks of the north of India, waste is a problem across the board. Waste is also a solution because waste managed well can provide energy which can then be used to create chemicals, create CNG, create fuel, whether it is 1G, 2G ethanol, whether it is bunch of the sustainable aviation fuels, biofuels, everything that is being talked about. And it's a way to create green fuels for something that is a problem today. How do you manage this cost effectively? How do you manage it by bringing innovation, new technology areas in? Is what makes it fascinating. It's got implications for technology, for finance, for policy, all of these things. And if India can bring such different ways of thinking to these problems that are unique, then we can create a energy future which is green, can address a lot of India's growing energy needs, and can become a competitive advantage.
An energy future which is green, and that really sounds promising. And Thermax as well is at the forefront of all of that, from largely being dependent on captive power orders to multiple new areas like waste heat recovery, water solutions. Tell us a little bit more about how you're investing in some of these initiatives and how they're performing.
Okay, this is a fascinating period for any company that is involved in the energy and environment space, knowing that almost everything that we have been working on for the last 30 years may become less relevant or in some cases irrelevant over the next 10 to 20 years. So the period in between is one that comes with some amount of risk, but managed well, it comes with the ability to get into a lot of newer spaces and do a lot of interesting things. So for Thermax, what this has meant is taking a lot of our existing products that we have and figuring out what is the green portion of the story of those products. Yeah, so we've been entering everything from electric boilers to biomass-based, lot of advanced capabilities, getting into waste to energy in a bigger way. But then there are a lot of new areas that are emerging. Yeah, you touched on the water story. Water has a very close connection with energy. It has a very close connection with growth. India over the next 25 years will need more than 2 times the water that it has today available. But we know there is no more water available. So the way you get this 2 times the amount of water that you need is by recycling better and then getting into desalination and a lot of new areas which involve more advanced technology, involve sort of solutions, services, digital, all of these things that are part of this solution set. So these create new areas where it is not just the traditional way of providing water, but bringing advanced and new technology areas. One of the two technology areas that you referenced is this zero liquid discharge, which means how do industrial plants, which and every industry in India today works with a lot of water. And as enforcement gets stronger, as norms get stronger, industries can't dispose of that water the way we used to.
Right.
How do you make this water better from an industrial effluent perspective requires a lot of new technology to come in, creates areas that Thermax can get into. Bio CNG is one more example. On the cooling side, heat pumps, advanced cooling solutions, we are entering into those. Hydrogen is an area of growth. Adjacencies around solar and storage are areas of growth. So multiple new areas that Thermax can get into. And I don't think we'll be successful at all of them, but certainly from an innovation and new areas, it's a fascinating period.
So I was saying that you're really at the forefront of all of this, with the bringing up tech for Karnataka's water management as well. Now, what about your order inflow? Give us a sense as to how large orders have panned out, how the new businesses are presenting when it comes to orders.
Okay, I think we are in a quiet period, so I can't say too much about short-term orders trends. I would say I'll speak more to the medium term and the long term and give you a sense. Yeah, Thermax, you can see from our past as well, we've been growing our order book. Large orders has been a bit of an issue. And as we talk about this year, I do expect some of the bigger engines on large orders also to start kicking in. Let me share a little bit around for your viewers as well. Thermax addresses some of the segments which provide larger orders, which are refining and petrochemical, power, and steel and cement. These are the areas where we get large orders. But there's a big middle and the bottom of the iceberg, so to say, which is where we get base orders. These are food and beverages, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, textiles, rubber, variety of different industries. And these orders we get through our distributors and our channel partners. This engine, which is products that are innovative, selling through a wide set of our customers, have been growing. And for the last 3+ years, ever since we have come down from COVID, have been growing anywhere from 10 to 30% on a continuous basis year on year. And we continue to see that growth in variety of these project areas. On large projects, both power and refining and petrochemical, we went through a year where we did not see too many large projects. And steel industry, where we were expecting a large projects, they all got pushed out. Yeah, and as I look at this particular year and the coming years, I see that power will be active. India is talking about adding capacity in multiple areas, including thermal power capacity. Steel is expected to be active, will continue to be active. And then elements of refining and petrochemical are coming back in. So I'm a lot more bullish on this coming 1 to 2 years on large projects as well, domestically as well as internationally.
And what about commodity prices, stabilization of some of the newer businesses, just purely long term? How do you see industrial products, chemicals, margins looking?
So overall, I would say market that is stable. Commodity prices so far have held stable. Even crude prices, given the some of what is happening geopolitically, is largely okay. Yeah, there's some movements. I would say, geopolitically speaking, the only portion which where there is some amount of concern is on logistics and transportation costs and changes that it is giving to supply chains. Like our chemicals business, we typically factor that our customers in the US will get our product in X number of weeks, and now suddenly that is getting pushed out. And so there's some stress on supply chains, especially given inventories are tight. But otherwise, manageable. There is no immediate red flags. We don't know what the future holds otherwise. Many of the newer businesses that we have seeded, some of them are showing good potential, though I would say it is not uniform. Yeah, things like our bio-CNG business, where we are looking to do new things, not just for India, but some of these are globally new things. There we are seeing challenges with stabilizing the plant. Our operating costs have been a lot more than what we expected, and we've been taking hits in our financial statements accordingly. But we see enough promise in these segments long term, and we see entire new categories of work for Thermax to open up, which is why we will continue to invest in these segments for the foreseeable future.
Okay. And exports, how do you looking at that in terms of the contribution to the overall business, and how do you expect that to grow?
Sure. More bullish on exports as well in the coming period. And this is after a period of couple of years where the India business grew a lot faster than exports grew. Yeah, and so for Thermax, where exports at one time were north of 30%, it had come down, almost to 20%. But I expect that number to start going up this year. We have a good set of medium-sized projects in Middle East and other parts of the world, and general stability and strength in many of our industrial product side of our business and with our chemical side of the business. So a lot more optimistic of exports growing this year.
And any challenges when it comes to execution of projects here overseas?
No, the biggest areas of challenge that I see is getting better and better in a lot of the newer areas that we are entering into. In many of those newer areas, we have new supply chain models to be built, new technologies, and they have elements of R&D and working with our customers to convince them that these new products can work. So completely new business models as well. I would say that's the biggest area of focus and challenge. In our traditional areas of business, we've been able to increase plant capacity, being able to innovate as needed. And I think that part of the business continues to operate smoothly.
Finally, any worries with respect to threat of higher Chinese competition for the chemicals business? And what's the long-term message that you just want to give shareholders?
Look, on Chinese competition, we are seeing Chinese competitors, even in boilers, our cooling equipment, certain portions of the water business. Across the portfolio, we are seeing more Chinese competitors in the last 6 months. And as we look at the next 6 to 12 months, I suspect the reason is there is more demand in India than many other parts of the world. And we are seeing Chinese equipment. And I don't think that is right, because we don't get a fair playing field, and in some ways it's a way to dump metal into India when finished products are through finished products. Yeah, so I think the Chinese equipment coming into India is a real concern, which I wouldn't have said 6 months ago. As I look towards the future, I think my message is the same. It's a message around bullishness. You have two engines that are there. One is India's growth driven by macroeconomics and everything else that is going on, and second is this need for energy to become greener, cleaner. So both energy availability and energy sustainability, both of these are areas that can create new growth for Thermax. It won't be easy. All of these come with new business models, new technologies, etc. But that's the fun part.
Oh, yes, indeed it is. And what a journey it's been. I want to wrap any pearls of wisdom you have in terms of running a business. Just a quick word from you.
I think, look, I moved from a MNC, so to say, to come to work with an Indian company. It's been 4 years. It's been fascinating. I would say the rate at which um, Indian companies are accelerating in their adaptability, in their ability to be global champions is absolutely fascinating. And I've enjoyed every bit of this journey, and looking forward to what the future brings. Thank you.
And we wish you all the best for that. So thank you for taking time out and joining us today.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from Nirmal Bang.